There are so few days where the sun is shining. You've just got to get out while it's out. It's so beautiful today. I have still got a mountain of jobs to do, but hey, which ones to do first? I planted my garlic and onions yesterday, so that's already videoed as well. So that is ticked off my list of things to do. I still have quite a lot of bulbs to plant, mind. Seeing as it's so sunny and the sky is so blue, you can see that behind me. I might head up to the top of the garden, to be honest, and start planting those plants on the other side of the woodland, because it's been weeks since I started it. It's getting to the point where I'm sort of embarrassed not to have finished it, to be honest. But excitingly, actually, tomorrow we're getting a delivery of wood to do the raised beds in the greenhouse, and we're also getting a delivery of the water troughs that I want to put outside, the animal drinking water troughs. What do you think, Bonbon? Do we like the sunshine? Do we like the sunshine? Yeah, good sniffs around that tree, is there? Good sniffs. It's such a lovely spot. I think we're going to put a seat, or maybe even a deck around this tree later on, maybe next year sometime, with a seat on it, because it's such a fabulous place to sit in the dappled shade. Do I do the woodland? Do I plant those lavenders that I mentioned last week? Or do I carry on with my bulb planting? Seeds are actually calling me, to be honest. Look at this. These are the grasses I sowed the other week. These ones came up in about 2 days. These ones 3 days. But my apple blossom snapdragons are up. They're very tiny. And I have transplanted some of the foxglove. They are here. Of course, soon I'll be able to put them in my new greenhouse, which should be amazing. And then I can just use this one for storage, because it's bit leaky, as you know. The Beaujolais sweet peas are not germinating as quickly or as well as Kupani ones, but there's 5 at the moment that have come up. I might actually put these kale in some of the potato pots or something, because it seems such a waste. Mind you, a couple of them outside have been munched by slugs and caterpillars, would you believe? I left it open last night. Good grief, that one looks like it's been decimated overnight. Got seeds to sow too. Also, this time of year is a fabulous time to be harvesting seeds, especially when it's a dry day like this. So if it stays dry all day, I can come out and harvest some seed. It's also a fabulous time to be dividing perennials. Let's go and have a look at the woodland, Bonnie. Come on, let's go. Now then, this isn't Bonnie. We have a little family of moorhens, plus a squirrel, who has been bouncing across the lawn, I think trying to bury acorns. Oh, good grief. I'll just go and get the rest of the cyclamen that I've got, and I'll relay them out and get them planted. I think even if I don't get the cardboard and bark mulch down, at least they'll be in the ground then. I picked up these white ones just in the local supermarket. This pot contains very tall white and yellow iris that were in a shady part of my old garden, and as you can see, it's growing some baby foxgloves in amongst it. Now, they were majority of the time in the shade, so although they're an iris, I think if I plant them in the semi-shade under my tree over there, they should do okay. I do need to plant things this side of the mulch to cast a bit more shade for the heat of the summer, I think. But this, I think, is looking okay. So I can add these foxgloves, which I think are just the native pink ones, into these ones. And these iris, I'll separate out and put them in one of the sunnier spots, maybe where I've put that epimedium there. And then I've got some primulas that I've rescued from other part of the garden. Still got all these to plant in between, but most importantly, I've got to get these bulbs in. So I'll get these perennials planted, and then I'll show you when I finish them all. You don't need to see me plant another woodland, do you? We now have 2 squirrels. 3 squirrels. Oh dear, 3 squirrels burying acorns. Well, yesterday the rain stopped play on the carrying on with the woodland. So off there, girls, come on. Yesterday I got this front corner done, and the brown blobs are the crocuses that I've planted that were already sprouting. So I only managed to plant 5 plants and a bag full of crocus, but I'm going to do a little bit more, hopefully before the rain starts, to be honest. The bulbs are coming up all over the place. Love days like this. Sunny, not too cold now, it's warmed up slightly. It was a bit chilly this morning. Look at that tree, it's losing all its leaves. It didn't go orange after all, it just went red. But the leaves, when they fall down, look slightly pink when they lie on their backs. She's still beautiful against the blue sky, eh? The ground around here is maybe not surprisingly dry because it's under a tree, but when I dug it last time, it was still quite moist, and we have had quite a lot of rain. So I do need to water these in well. Just filling up this tray because I want to pot on these larkspur, because as you can see the roots are right to the bottom. These pots do allow air pruning, so once they get to the bottom they kind of stop growing, but it's a sure sign that they are ready to move on. So this will be the last transplant they get before next spring, but these pots are equivalent to one of the small brown pots, to be honest, so I can put them all in here. In the bottom of the pot, the mixture, I added a little bit of vermiculite, but the top I'm not going to worry about. And it is literally a case of sticking your finger in these holes and out pops a perfect little plug plant. Isn't that fabulous? Lovely little root system. As you can see down the side here, there are roots that aren't wrapping round these pots. If I can show you, possibly can't. But inside the pot, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little ridge down each side of the corner of the pot, and that stops them wrapping round and round and round, which is great. So that's about right. And just give that a little bit of extra compost. And these are going to be tucked into their new little beds for the winter months. They probably, mind you, it's quite mild. I was going to say they probably won't grow much more, but given how warm it is, and we're still set into double figures this week, 13, 14 degrees, so they may very well grow a bit more. There we go. That's a little bit dry, to be honest. I could have done with watering that a little bit more. I have actually just watered them, but a little hole, pop it in, stand it upright. They're looking like really healthy plants, I have to say. I'm quite impressed with these plug trays. If my veggie garden had been up and running, they may have got a little bit more neglected, I'm ashamed to say, but they're looking quite good, aren't they? Of course, what I've done is not fill the tray, which is really frustrating. So I've got 3 pot holes here that I could put something in, and I might put something completely different in, like, like a garlic bulb, because I've only got 3 of those. These are my 3 spares, so I might put those in the end actually. What I do need to do with these, of course, is put the label in and water in, because they were actually quite dry. So yeah, there we go. That's the larkspur in. And I will just plant these 3 garlic in the other end. They just need topping up a little bit. I am going to get myself, as I said, another garlic bulb to plant, but I think I'm going to try hardneck, because I've never actually tried hardnecks before. I always choose softnecks for some reason, but I'm interested to see what scapes taste like, because I've never had one. I'm assuming it's a bit like the garlicky leek or something. That's my I'll just pop out for 10 minutes and see what's happening in the garden. The reason I came out is because the water troughs have arrived. They're not in position properly yet, they're not joined together or set up. I think we need to raise them up off the ground. We're going to put gravel underneath them, but I might stand them on something to raise them up slightly. I'm currently collecting seeds, which is a perfect thing to do in the autumn time. These here are a sort of cobalt blue coloured salvia that I grew from seed originally, so I'm going to collect the seed off those. And these are the rainbow Marcella, or Marcella, I don't know how you pronounce it, echinacea, which were the ones that start out orangey coloured in the middle and go pink towards the edges. So I'm going to collect the seed off those and save them and get them sown, leaving you a little cone shape in the middle like that. So these are all the same. You don't want the dead flower petals, but you do want the flower seeds, and these are the seeds. And as you can see, you get quite a lot off one seed head. I'll keep them all together, put them in one of my seed packets and label them. These seeds, I don't know if you can see that, are right inside the paper casings. So if I take one off, you'll see them fall out of this little casing. So there's 4 seeds in there, so that's good. You could, of course, just drop them into a paper bag and give them a little shake and they'll fall out. So that's the seeds. Little black, again, look a bit like mouse droppings, but there you go. So you do need to label them because there are a lot of seeds that look like a lot of other seeds, but each one of these little paper casings has got seeds in them. So that's quite a few seeds on 2 flower stalks. These ones are the heads of garlic chive. There are tiny little black seeds in these heads here, which if you squeeze them and give them a little wiggle, will drop out. And again, they look a bit like the last one, so make sure you've cleared your area before you start emptying them out. They're not all entirely dry yet, but you can see, if I can get my finger in the shot, here and here, the casings are more papery and open and let the black seed show, whereas the ones that aren't ripe yet have got the green pod bits there. So I will just leave these in here, and they will eventually drop out by themselves, but they just look like onion seeds because they're chives. I think today I'm going to transplant these grasses. These are the feathertop fountain grass into some of these trays that I've emptied out. So that'll be my first job. I need to do a few more of the foxgloves as well. And I think these, to be fair, looking a bit limp because I haven't watered them properly. Yeah, they've already got roots out the bottom. I'm tempted to put them into bigger pots as well, because this one seems to have done much better in there. It's probably a little bit warm for them in here. I might set up a plastic, I've got like a mini plastic greenhouse thing, which is just, you know, like a polythene cover on a shelf. Might put them outside during the daytime just to keep them cooler. I don't want them to like start flowering or anything daft like that. The Nigella that I potted on are doing really well as well, much better than the ones in the little trays, so I'm thinking they need to go into pots too. And these lettuce are the same ones that I planted outside. Might put those in the other greenhouse in that middle bed, and maybe even some of the kale. I might put one of the kale plants in the greenhouse too. Just adding a little bit of vermiculite just for a little bit of extra drainage. Nothing too crazy. Okay, so I put a little bit in the bottom. Got to get these pricked out now, so I think I'll take my glove off for a start so I can feel what I'm doing. And I'm just going to use the label to ease out. See what the root's like. You can see the root on that. But delicacy is at the order of the day, I think, with something as fine as the grass. We've got 2 there. So just gently draw that apart. So that's a really nice plant. And it hasn't grown so many roots that it's hard to get out of the pot. And try and bury them at the same depth they were in the other tray. That'll settle it in without squashing the leaves or anything. Oops, she says. So as you can see, I've still got quite a few left in the tray. So I'm going to need at least another cell tray to do that. And as luck would have it, I have got another one here. But yeah, I don't want to waste any of these because they are from my prairie meadow that I'm intending to grow. And also, if any of them fail, obviously, I'll have some spares, but I probably haven't got enough here, to be honest. But the seeds were so few and far between in the packet that is the whole packet of them. So I've got to try and mollycoddle these through the winter. There's 2 trays of feathertop fountain grass transplanted, and there's 2, maybe 3 babies left in the pot. So if they carry on growing after me disturbing them, I'll give them a little pot of their own. I have transplanted these Nigellas into what was the equivalent of 3-inch size pots. So that'll be them now. They will be happy in there until we get planted out in the garden, which has freed up these more rigid plastic pots. And I'm going to put some onion sets in them and keep them cool just to get started. The ones that I would be putting in the kitchen garden in the springtime, they'll have already started growing. So hopefully by the time I build the bed, they can get put inside. So they would be equivalent to planting them in the autumn. I've just noticed that the spinach I sowed last week is up all the way across amongst the leaves. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. My tub of carrots are doing okay. That one's been nibbled, but Bella got her head in the bucket when I put it on the ground the other day and pulled all this side out and ate them because she loves the carrot. So I think they're about ready to harvest. To be fair, I ought to get them done. I have once again invested in more seeds. Ah, dear me, can't stop myself. These are obviously English sweet peas. And these ones say chip or soaked, but I am actually going to just go and put them all in a little glass of water just overnight, and I will sow these tomorrow. Some of the other jobs you can be doing right now are things like dividing perennials, taking cuttings, sowing seeds, which is my favourite. And I did show you that I'd bought some more sweet peas, and I did have them overnight in little shot glasses in water, and they've actually sprouted. So I do actually need to get these sown. I won't bore you with that though, because I did show you sowing of sweet peas when I did the Cupani and Beaujolais. I have got some more root trainers, so I'm going to just put those in there. So they're for me to do shortly. So the other job that I need to do is to divide my grass, split that into individual pots. I'm also going to divide some of my echinacea plants, and I also need to rake the leaves because in the front garden there's some trees overhanging and they are all over the lawn. I haven't actually got a lawnmower that collects the grass, otherwise I would just mow over them and scoop them up, put them in the compost heap with the grass clippings. I think I'm going to do is rake them up, put them in a black plastic bag for now with some holes in, and throw them behind the shed with all the other rubbish, because I haven't actually built my leaf collection bay yet, or my compost heaps. Actually, that's another job that I have to do this autumn. So I still have lots and lots to do. We have still got lemon drop chilies growing in here, would you believe, and ripening. So the weather is still in the double figures at the minute. So with all of those jobs that are still to do, I'm just going to give you a little clip of some of the flowers that are still flowering their heads off in the garden. I've got a fabulous little clematis and the passion flower still growing strong. So here's a little snippet of things that I've been looking at this week. What are you eating? Something you shouldn't for change. I've just noticed that the irises I planted with you, not last week, the week before, are already shooting as well. It's been far too warm. Everything's getting romping ahead. But yes, it'll make a lovely little display here close to the kitchen door. Another job on our list is to patch up this grass, because this is where we took the spare slabs from. There are still a few here which we will use in front of the greenhouse, and I've bought some grass seed. But I'm heading off to the big shed because I am looking for my springtime rake so that I can get some leaves off the front lawn. Aren't the colours amazing at this time of year?